I knew it. It was so wonderful and odd getting here this morning. I was in bed. I decided last night, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna go.
It's annoying, isn't it? Just decided, and here he is in the chair. It's almost as if his path of least resistance doesn't have very much resistance in it. So things are easier for him than they should be, right?
It was.
You really didn't pay much of a price to be here.
Actually, I got a discount too. So I was in bed this morning, and I said, okay, I'm going to give myself 3 hours to get there so I have time to go and pay and do all that stuff. But then the alarm went off, and my boyfriend turned around and hugged me in a very comfortable way, and I'm like, oh, this feels good. And so I just stayed a little longer.
All right, your time is up.
And then I'm like, okay, so I woke up a little later, and then I started to drive. And then as I was driving, I saw the most wonderful color in the sky. Like, it was just like the perfect timing to see that weird pink. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It kind of makes sense that I'm here right now to see this. And then I drive, and it was a fun drive.
Now, some might say, coincidence. You're understanding that you're being guided to perfect moment after perfect moment after perfect moment after perfect moment. In other words, the idea of sacrificing is sort of out of your practiced vibration, yeah?
And so then I was driving, and I for some reason I thought, oh, I haven't seen my friend Sherry in a while, and she, like, I don't know, she came to mind. She lives in a different state, so it's not a really close connection. And I got here, I paid for parking and all that stuff, and then as I walked in, Sherry was right in front of me. And then I'm like, oh, cool, nice to see you. And then she's like, oh, cool.
So it's almost as if you're communicating on a vibrational level, that you've gone beyond needing your physical senses, that the whole of you is knowing things that the physical see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it part of you has no way of knowing. Sort of like there's a broader part of you that's alive and active. Go figure.
Yeah. And then Sherry said, I might have a seat for you. And I'm like, okay, cool, let me know. And then I went to the bathroom, and I came back. She's like, hey, come here. And I was sitting right here. And I'm like, oh, if I get picked first, this makes perfect sense.
Now, it's momentum, isn't it? So think about some of the things that he said. Instead of being the responsible person that he intended to be, he set his alarm, intending to get up. Instead, he followed a different path. In other words, you followed the comfortable path, you selfish person. So, do you mean to say that when you follow the path that feels the best to you, that things just keep working out for you?
Well, today...
Someone should write a book about this. It just gets better and better, doesn't it?
It seems
it just
like
gets better and better. The path of least resistance is the path of most allowance, which means it's the path of most comfort, it's the path of most fun, it's the path of most clarity, it's the path of most satisfaction. It's not the path of sacrifice, it's not the path of virtuousness, it's not the path of giving yourself over to something or someone else. It's the path of alignment. The path of alignment always feels good.
And I wanted to kind of like apply this perspective on
everything.
Yeah. And looking at what I'm experiencing right now, it's really cool because it's been a couple of years now that I have this really clear sense of who I am. Really, I could see it. I can see it. I can feel it. It's tangible. It's kind of like, it's so cool. And sometimes
what it is, it's in the moment, being in a state, a vibrational state that allows the wholeness of who you are to be present. So you're just more present. You're more alive. You're more clear. You're more satisfied. Does it mean that you can see further down the road?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It just means that this moment in time feels better.
Well, it comes with a lot of clarity about, I don't want to call them my desires because they don't feel like desires anymore. They feel more
That's
like...
because most people think that what a desire is unrequited love. They think that what a desire is a desire for something that I don't have, and it's that edgy feeling of yearning that most people think that desire is. But what pure desire is standing in the moment of clarity, where in this moment you are doing nothing to resist what you want, so that you are tuned in to the impulses that will lead you moment by moment. In other words, you weren't just coming to this destination. You weren't just coming to that chair or to this chair. You were coming to the beautiful spectrum in the sky. You were coming to rendezvous with your friend. You were coming for all kinds of manifestational points. Every moment is a manifestation. Every moment is a manifestation. And every moment you have the opportunity to manifest the fullness of who you are or something less than that. And the more you recognize that you are manifesting the fullness of who you are, then the more you're enjoying life, and the less you're yearning about things that are missing, and then the less that the things that matter to you cannot be missing. They have to be present until a moment can yield to you so much more than you ever understood, that you have the capacity to take in, to absorb, to realize, to experience, to know. Oh, tuned in, tapped in, turned on. That's who you are supposed to be.
So sometimes it's a good feeling thing that I do. Like I sometimes get inspired to kind of make a plan, sort of like what I did today with putting on the alarm, I guess. And so then I make a plan about something like a film I'm working on or something that I want to accomplish. And as I go on, I would sense some sort of, and it's not my, I don't feel I'm not aligned, but I feel like there are things that are not kind of like...
Some sort of not readiness, not wanting
Yes.
to dig up the kernel of corn and eat it. Like wanting to give it the opportunity to come into fruition.
And it has been, it's kind of been weird because I started this...
So the key is to not let yourself feel unhappy about something that isn't ready, and to begin enjoying the things that are. And after a while, you'll begin to notice the difference. It's like you can feel that your path is leading here and 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 here, rather than demanding that it lead over there where it's not ready to lead. And the reason that the path isn't ready is because you are vibrationally not quite ready.
It felt kind of more like what I was working on needed to express itself in a heightened way before.
Maybe it needed to annoy you into greater clarity.
And that's what it's...
Maybe,
no, that's not annoying me, but it's
maybe
coming.
It needed to annoy you into greater clarity. Maybe it needed to disappoint you into greater clarity. Maybe it needed to evoke from you something that you had not given to it before. Maybe it helped you to focus yourself into something that was more. In other words, this is the thing, we're going to say it to you all day long here today. Very often, something that feels like it's not working out really is. It's just not working out right now. And if you'll stop noting, if you'll stop talking about it not working out, which sort of shuts everything down, and talk about how it is working out, you just can't see the way it's working out. So just take your eyes off of that and follow the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance, here we are. The path of least resistance is the path for which you feel the greatest clarity. So it's like, we're going to give you a really bulky but really good analogy. It would be like walking through a forest with all kinds of branches to the trails. And some of the trails just lead off cliffs. Some of them just lead off into little forest cul-de-sacs. Some of them are true trail trunk lines that are going to hook up with another trail and another trail and another trail. Some of the trails are sort of dead end in the sense of what your purpose is right now. So you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And source is flowing through you. And source can see in the dark. So you're moving along, and the trail just lights up, and you follow it, and the trail lights up, and you follow it, and the trail lights up, and you follow it. And you discover along the way beautiful things in the sky and beautiful things. In other words, you realize that your trail is often very multi-purposed, because it's not just about getting from here to over there. It's about having a really wonderful romp through the forest. It's about meeting up with creatures and people that you might not have met up with otherwise. In other words, because all that you are and all that you put into your vortex is being satisfied by this trail that's lighting up. And so sometimes what you all do is that you've got some sense that that's the way, that's the fork in the road. And as you stand there, it doesn't light up for you, but sort of out of stubborn determination, you sort of begin down that path anyway. And every step you take that really, we're not going to say is off your path, because no path is off your path, because the worst thing that can happen is it can annoy you into clarity that gets you back on your path. But every step you take that is less than the path of least resistance feels less fun, it feels less good, it feels less clear. But so many of you have practiced yourself into enduring the less than. Because others who want stuff from you have convinced you that they can't be happy and you be happy at the same time, because you might choose a different restaurant. And so most of you, we love you so much, but you are so easy to give up on your own lighted path because you haven't practiced enough what it feels like to really feel good. You haven't let yourself be selfish enough to follow your path of least resistance. You put up with stuff that's less than feeling good, in the promise that sacrifice and hard work and struggle will lead you to where you want to be. And we're here to tell you it never, never does. It just leads you to more struggle and hardship until it annoys you into something else. And what we're really asking you is, why wait? Why wait? Why endure? Why not be more sensitive early on that this just doesn't feel so good?